Oh, okay. But yeah, definitely in front of the mic.
Hi, everyone.
She's working on it.
Hey!
My name is Yoko. I'm going to be your host for this panel. First, I wanted to thank Washington State Fairgrounds for inviting me to be part of this. Part of the Twitch streamers, right? It goes through the viewers, actually. So thank you so much for having us. It's been so much fun streaming. My name is Linda Lavita Yoko. I'm on Twitch if you choose to check it out. Like your tomorrow, so yeah, it's an look. But I know you guys are all here to see.
I was gonna try and make her feel as uncomfortable as possible because she's so nervous about doing this panel yesterday. She's like, I don't know what questions to ask you. And I said, I'll give you a list of questions.
Yeah.
And did you get those?
No, I did not.
No, because I didn't write them. But I did threaten that if I was gonna write the questions for her, I was gonna write them in such a way where it would make you guys think that she was like the worst panel host. It's like, so you played Batman in Dragon Balls? Like, but thank you for having me. Hello everybody, thank you for being here. This is my very first live panel since, I guess, the world fell apart a year ago. And so, oh, look at that. She'll be cracking. This panel is sponsored by Topo Chico. Topo Chico, the only good carbonated water. Hold this. Topo Chico in this panel also brought to you by HTC Vive. HTC Vive, when you need reality, but virtual. All right, sorry. Those were I had to do those. It was required. Yes.
I do have a couple questions for you, actually. But first, I mean, it's a beautiful day here. It's exciting that our weather is finally decided to be nice. But being back at conventions, is this your first convention since the last year and a half?
It is. Yeah. It's my first convention in a long time.
Right. And I know, I've seen you at cons. I know you like to talk with people. And how was that? How was that over the last year and a half, not being able to do that?
It was very lonely.
Yeah.
We were doing some virtual panels and stuff like that. I don't know if any of you took part of that. I know that some people were providing like virtual outlets for it, which I thought was fun, and people were sending in, like people were starting to become really creative with what they were doing, like allowing you to send in your stuff to get signed, but it just wasn't the same. Like I remember I was doing these, this one other convention, not this one, was doing these kind of virtual meet and greet type things where they would have, where you could, like, it was really weird. They would like, it was one after the next, and you had like 3 minutes to talk to each person or whatever, and it had a timer that would count down. And so it was just like, it was like the speed dating class for like fandom or whatever. So it was like 3, 2, 1. Oh, hey, how's it going, Daniel? What shows do you even like? That's weird. Okay, you're in your living room. How are you doing? This is really awkward. Hi. It just felt like you were doing these random live chats with strangers. So like there was a terrible thing that got taken down a long time ago called like chat roulette or something, and it sort of maybe felt like what that might have been like. But it's so good to see people in person. I have a feeling that a lot of new fans and a lot of new like anime fans are out there because the pandemic gave us a lot of time to watch really long shows. People finally were able to actually finish Dragon Ball. People were actually able to probably start and finish even One Piece, or maybe get close to finishing One Piece. There's not long enough. It would have to be a few years to finish that show. But yeah, it's so great to see everybody, and it's so nice to do this panel outside too. How many of you guys were here when I was here like 4 years ago? Were any of you did oh, good, thank you for coming back. I'm sorry, it was that you had to wait so long. But did you come to my panel that year? Did any of you go to my panel? Okay, so 4 years ago, I guess there was a graduation or something happened in the ballpark or whatever, but they had our panel in that like little arena area with all the stadium, the bleachers, and they also had giant lazy boy like recliners, huge ones that would recline all the way back, and they had a boom microphone stand, so I could like Sean Schemmel, the guy who plays Goku, and I did our entire panel laying completely back like this. And we didn't even have to touch the microphone. That's how amazing it was. So I'm sad that it's not the same, but this probably looks like a little bit more legitimate than the other one did. Sorry, as I told you, you can ask me one thing and I'll talk forever. My apologies.
Thank you for doing that. I'm 100% distracted by this little puppy up here anyway.
Oh, the one that you stole.
Oh,
The one that he stole.
that's Toshinori right there. That is a cute 13-week-old Shiba Inu, everybody. If you look at this thing, it's like so cute. Look at this. He's like, this is. I held this dog earlier and it literally went to sleep. He's like, what is going
Oh,
on?
no, you stole him.
Well, I did steal him earlier, and I stole him again now. Look how cute this dog is. Seriously, he's like, what's happening right now? Where am I? Why is everyone taking pictures of me? What was it like to play a dog in My Hero Academia? Oh, you're bored. He's already bored with these questions. This dog is so sweet. Now I need a Shiba Inu. Now, did you say?
No, you don't.
Oh, you don't? Okay. Oh, well, not this one. You can have your dog, I promise. I'm gonna steal your dog. But did you say that this dog recently had cancer or something? Cancer treatment? You had cancer. Oh gosh, I didn't treat that with the seriousness it deserved earlier. I was like, yeah, that's, well, welcome back. Like, well, this is the best treatment you can ask for right here. This is a sweet dog. So sorry, you don't get it back now. If I,
I'm still here then. Wait,
this is gonna be very distracting now.
I'm sorry.
Do you want to go? Do you want to get out of here? Do you want to go down? You get down? Okay. You want to get down? Here, you can get down. I'm otherwise just not going to talk for the rest of this. I'm just going to pet this dog. So cute. Thank you very much. Everyone give a round of applause for Toshinori. Our next animal on stage is a 4-week-old monkey from Africa. And bring up Chuckles. I'm just kidding.
I actually had a really important question for you. When I saw you yesterday, you were enjoying a Fisher's Cone.
Yes, I was.
And I wanted to get your thoughts on it.
Well, they told me that you had to eat a scone when you were here. And I was like, I've eaten scones, they're the most boring thing on earth. And I didn't know that scones actually could taste like the ones they do here, because these aren't like the British scones. British scones are like just basically a dog treat. These were amazing. They were so good. And I liked I think I appreciated eating the scone more, because right before I got to eat it, I got to see some lady very painfully making one. Like, she was like having to stir what seemed like very difficult jelly to stir. And it looked like it took all of her might to stir this thing around. So I was like, I really appreciated eating it even more. And it was super delicious. And now you reminded me that they exist, and I won't be able to think of anything else now. Now I'm thinking about puppies and about those amazing scones. Congratulations to you guys on your scone action.
So over the last year plus being a second home, not traveling, did you pick up any new hobbies or interests?
Well, that's interesting. Well, the one thing, my favorite things to do pre-pandemic, and still, and I did it this weekend twice, is I love to go to breakfast places. Breakfast is my favorite meal of the day. But because most of those places weren't open, I just ended up getting really good at making breakfast. Turns out eggs are very easy to make. Like, I didn't realize all you have to do is just crack them in a pan and they cook all by themselves. It's like it's not difficult. I went to 2 Greasy Spoons in Tacoma this weekend. I went to the Hobnob one day. Have you guys been there? And then I went to a place this morning called, what was it called? Alfred's? Have you guys heard of that? It's literally a bar that serves breakfast, and it was really busy. like there were people drinking there. Apparently it's close to a hospital, and all of the like nurses and doctors get off their shift at 6 or 7 in the morning, go drink there. And so if you're old enough, check it out on a Sunday morning. That's a fun thing to do, I guess.
I guess I'll ask you like a voice acting question.
I get those all the time.
Something I was thinking, especially watching the Star Wars Bad Batch made me think of this question because there's one guy playing all these different clones' voices, and I know you tend to play occasionally play different voices within the same show or same universe. How do you keep that straight?
Well, like a lot of the times, like directors don't want to cast the same person to do the multiple voices. I was lucky because I was the director of Dragon Ball, and so I was like, I don't have a problem with me doing lots of voices. But part of why I did that on Dragon Ball is because in 1998, we were starting to work on that show. We were doing it in Dallas, and there was no dubbing industry in Dallas. There was really not much of a production industry in Dallas other than just commercials and industrial type voiceover stuff. So, we were having a really hard time getting actors to work on the show because there just weren't a lot of people. In fact, when we originally auditioned for Dragon Ball, trying to find the cast for Dragon Ball Z, there weren't, like the agencies didn't want to work with Funimation because it wasn't enough money, because there wasn't a lot of money to be made in dubbing and like English versions of Japanese cartoons. So the agents didn't want to work, so I ended up having to put up flyers like at universities. I put an ad in the entertainment paper, and we just auditioned a bunch of people who had never done it before. So as a result, there really weren't a lot of actors in town to do it, so I just kept casting myself on more and more things. Or when somebody, for instance, like the original person who played Mr. Popo, he had to go on a tour with this theater group. And so I ended up taking over Mr. Popo. And the guy who played Korin, it was a comedian, and he was like, I gotta do this thing. So I ended up playing his role too. So over the years, I just ended up kind of adopting people's roles as they would leave, and we desperately needed to replace them. But with the Dragon Ball voices, it's like what helps is that typically I will do one character at a time. Like, I'll start with Yamcha, because he's like the easiest and like most fun dude, never hurts my voice, and he's usually dead half the episode anyway. But surprisingly, like Yamcha's voice and Vegeta's voice are very similar. They're like in the same realm with one another. And then you have to just drop it like an octave or two to make Piccolo's voice. And Piccolo's like almost as low as I can talk all the time. And all he does is he just orders Gohan around like a puppy. Like, Gohan, do it, don't do it. Like, stay, don't stay. Yeah, he just gives Gohan like marching orders. But what's funny is like, Vegeta and Vegeta are very similar voices. You guys probably figured that out. In fact, maybe some of you are sitting out there going like, yeah, they all sound similar to me. And that's probably very true. But yeah, a lot of the time, now that we have a huge actor pool in Dallas, Dallas has become quite a hub for voice acting and people wanting to get into the business. Where we used to have like 15 people on our actor roster list of people we call in, now we have thousands of people that we can call upon. And the pandemic really opened up our doors to being able to record people from anywhere in the world now that it wasn't convenient for us to do before, but now we just have access to a lot more people.
I come from like the collectibles industry for my day job, and so I just wanted to ask, what kind of, do you consider yourself a collector? What are you into?
I collect weird stuff, and not because of its value, but just because it's fun to collect. Like, I like old cameras, even though I don't necessarily know what they all are. I just think they look interesting. I love finding, like, I search eBay for people who have like found old glassware from airlines. I like airline kind of glasses. Tennis shoes I like to collect, but they don't necessarily have to be the best ones. I just find interesting ones. But while I may not be like an avid collector, I do have a lot of Pops. I don't know if you guys heard of Funko Pops by any chance? Yeah. I have those. Maybe you've seen them before. Actually everywhere you look, they exist. But I love them too. But yeah, other than that, it may not be necessarily collector, but I definitely am a bit of a hoarder when it comes to stuff. I don't like to throw things away, and that's a real problem. Especially when people give you stuff every weekend, it becomes like this stockpile of stuff that people have given me over the years, and I feel bad throwing it away. So what I end up doing is if I ever have to get rid of it, I just take a picture of it. And then I started doing that with my own stuff too, like stuff like I used to have ticket stubs from like all the concerts I ever saw, or every watch I've ever had, like back to my first watch, every wallet I've ever had, I still saved it. So I just started taking pictures of it all to eventually put in a book called Crap That I Didn't Want to Throw Away. So.
Well, I want to go ahead and invite people to start getting in line to ask questions. And then one last question for you that I promised a friend I would ask. Of all the characters you have voiced, what would a battle royal with those characters look like, and who would win and how would they win?
All the characters I would voice. Well, what is that sound? That is a weird. Okay, that was ghostly. By the way, do you guys like this? So this is my mask that I wear, and it dangles around my neck. And I feel like when I wear it, I look like a whimsical Labrador, sort of. Like I look like when you take your dog to get groomed, and they put a scarf on it. That's what this feels like to me. Oh yeah, and your question was about Battle Royale. So, if it were all my characters fighting, I think there would be a few left standing. Yami would be there for Black Clover, except he would, when it's his turn to fight, he would actually be going to the bathroom at that time, so he'd probably miss his turn. And then, I guess Yamcha would show up, but then immediately be killed, so we wouldn't have to worry about him. Alex Louise Armstrong would be really too busy talking with All Might, because they would get along really well for some reason. And then Vegeta, it would be Vegeta's turn to fight, and then he would power up really hard, and then get embarrassed if like somebody's stronger than he is. I think he would end up being kind of the top winner, because what would happen is like if Vegeta and All Might were fighting one another, it could go two ways. One, Vegeta would say, okay, I need you to power up into your full form, All Might, before we'll fight, and then he could possibly lose, because that happened to him all the time. Or Vegeta would finally be smart enough to go like, hey, wait a minute, All Might can only fight for a certain amount of time, and then he spits blood out of his mouth, so maybe I should like wait until he's weaker to fight him. But we all know what Vegeta would do. So it would definitely be a cross between, I wouldn't know who would win between Vegeta and All Might, but since Vegeta does seem to be in tip-top physical condition, I'm gonna give the win to Vegeta on that one.
All right. Thank you for that great answer. Let's go ahead and get our main questions going.
So the only paid voice work I've ever received were automated messages for phone trees.
Sure, I've done tons of
That was
those.
gonna be the question, if you've done any interesting, boring voice work.
Oh dude, I've done so much boring voice work in my life. Like they're probably the most boring. I've done so much voice work, because it's not all interesting stuff like anime and stuff like that. A lot of what I do is, man, that is creepy. Like, I think it's like just whistling through the bleachers or something like that, but
It's the Congos.
But what's weird is that it was from there earlier, and now the ghost has moved over here. But yeah, I have done so much boring voice work. I've done some stuff that was like not necessarily boring, but weird. Like I know my voice out there is in some sort of forklift as some sort of like, remember to unbuckle your seatbelt before using the forklift. My voice is in one of the shuttle buses at the DFW airport. And I'd say probably the most boring job I've ever had. And let me actually see if I can find this. I'm trying to find this. Shoot, there was this audio file. I used to do these VO for this company that would help practicing dental students to pass their dental exams, or become like master dentists or whatever. And it was by far the most boring stuff I've ever read. It was like the the ribosome 125 transferase with the occlusal section of the occlusal back to the vertical membrane of and I had no idea what I was reading, any of it. Like, it just made no sense to me, and it would take hours and hours and hours every time I had to do it. So, yeah, there's a lot of boring voice work to do, but and a lot of times I'll come in and do tags for things. Like, so a commercial may run in every state in the United States, and they'll have different phone numbers to call. So, like, say, call us now at 1-877-L-LAW, whatever. Call us now at 1-855-LAW. Call us now at 615-1417. Call us now at 817-996-0505. Call us now. And you have like a list of like 20 pages worth of all the phone numbers you have to list. Those are always weird, too.
Quick second question. My voice is completely shot just with casual conversations in a loud environment. How do you not blow your voice out at conventions and while going Super Saiyan?
Well, some of it is just I have to do a lot of voice work a lot, so I have some vocal strength there that I've built up, but a lot of it is just disappointing people, where they say like, "Can you scream as Vegeta for me?" And I go, "No, not right now." Like, I actually had to stop doing a service called Cameo, which you guys are familiar with. I had to stop doing it because people were making requests, and I found my voice just like beat up all the time. And so I was having clients get upset at me because my voice was always thrashed. But a lot of it's using good support, sleeping well, knowing when to scream and when not to scream, and then not doing too much of it is about it.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Nice sword, by the way.
Thanks.
Just if you just say it normally, you just yell it to me, and I will repeat it for you. Oh, perfect.
Can you do Zora's voice?
Yeah, Zoro's voice is an easy voice to do because he sounds like me. He's like, "Luffy, friggin' idiot, get down here. I'm lost for some reason. Is this east or west? Which way am I going here?" It's so weird. Like, my voice doesn't sound that much different as Zoro, but it's when someone asks me to do it, and then I just say someone's character name that's familiar, all of a sudden it sounds like Zoro to them. So that's cool. Well, thank you so much, dude. And thank you for the microphone help there. That was cool.
Hi.
Hi.
Sorry, what was your favorite All Might moment, and what was your hardest All Might moment?
Oh man. Probably my favorite All Might moments were actually the very, very beginning of the show. I love those first opening episodes, the first few episodes where All Might beats Midoriya. Some of those are my absolute favorite still of the series. I just love that section where Midoriya is holding on to him. He's going like, that was such a fun time to work on it. The most painful stuff was that big battle between like All for One and One for All. That where he loses his, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but when All Might dies in this most recent season, that was a hard thing. Oh shoot, I shouldn't have, like some of you. I'm just kidding, guys, he's not dead yet. That's all I can promise you is that he's not dead. I can't say he's not close to being dead, because I feel like he's been close to being dead since the first episode. The thing that scares me is I'm scared to read the manga now, because I know that I'm gonna pick up one of them and then I'm gonna flip through it and it's just gonna be All Might just dead there, and I don't want to see that. I can't handle
I
that.
suggested though.
What'd you say?
I really suggested though.
You suggested it?
Yes. I suggested though that you read the series.
Oh, good. Yeah.
I
I will.
really.
I thought you were saying I would suggest that he would die. Because I actually, it's a funny story and I tell it a lot. Maybe, I don't think I told it 4 years ago, so I can tell it now, but I had gone to dinner with some people after, it was a huge panel we did at Anime Expo, and a lot of people from Toho, the company that make My Hero Academia, were there, and Horikoshi Sensei, the guy who draws the mangaka of the series, was there too. And one thing that you can always trust is that the more talented Japanese artists are, the more likely they are to be smokers still, which is like not as cool in America anymore, but like for whatever reason, they still are smokers there. And so if you ever see a really talented Japanese artist like disappear, that means they've gone out for a cigarette. So I noticed he was leaving. I'm like, I'm gonna go out there. And I caught him while he was smoking, and I was like, hey, so I'll give you $50 if you don't kill All Might. And he goes, oh, I cannot take that bet. And I'm like, you're not gonna kill All Might, right? He goes, I cannot say. And so, but if you did, you could always bring him back with the Dragon Balls. He was like, ah, okay. He's like, please leave me alone now.
Thank you so much.
Sure thing. Hey.
How's it going?
Good, good.
So I was actually at that panel 4 years ago.
You were. That was a
Thank
good
you
time.
for that.
Good times.
That finally kikickstarted me into watching Dragon Ball. So
There you
my
go.
fiance is very thankful for that.
I almost flipped a golf cart that year, by the way. They made a foolish mistake of letting me drive one of the golf carts, and I almost.
Oh, and they go
flipped
pretty
the thing.
quick too. They're
Yeah.
pretty dry.
I didn't realize.
And also, real quick, One Piece is watchable during the pandemic. I started and finished it.
Good for you. Congratulations. It's a lot. That's a huge investment.
It was worth it though.
Did anyone else finish One Piece during the pandemic? There you go. There you go.
There's more than one for me. I'm so
Yeah,
glad.
there's other one. There you go.
Nice. So my question is this: of all the shows you've been in, which do you think doesn't get the appreciation it deserves? And why is it?
Oh man. Let's see. Okay, there's One Piece gets pretty good attention. I think it gets the attention it deserves in a lot of ways, and plus it's so popular in Japan, it gets plenty of attention there. Some of the shows I've worked, like there's a show I did called Pop Team Epic that I don't think gets enough attention. It is the weirdest show based on a 4-panel comic in Japan, and it makes no sense. It's completely non sequitur. It's probably why it doesn't get a lot of attention, but it's super weird. Justin Briner, the guy who plays Midoriya in My Hero Academia, he and I play the main characters in the first episode. They're these two girls called Pobiko and Mimiku or something like that, and you should watch it if you get a chance. It's so bizarre. Another show, I played another, I like the weird shows. There was another show I did called Ninja Slayer. Did anyone ever say Ninja Slayer? Like, okay, yes, 3 of you in here have seen that too. That was a weird show. Because Ninja Slayer was kind of a troll of a show. Because the manga was this gorgeous, beautiful manga about this like Ninja Slayer that does cool stuff. When the anime came out, it was the weirdest show. It looked like something you'd see on Adult Swim, like in the 1990s or something. It was like these cardboard cutouts of characters that when they would fight, they would just lift vertically up in the air and smack feet together or something like that until they exploded into like a cutaway to a real explosion. It was really bizarre.
I could totally picture that one.
That's another great show. Let's see, what's another show I really liked? I loved, there's a show I worked on a long time ago called Salty Ray that I thought was a really good show. Highly recommend that, and that's it.
Thank you.
Also, I guess maybe, let's see, it's a show called Demon Slayer. You guys heard of that? I think that show, more people could watch that. Actually, I don't think there's any more people could watch it. Like,
Okay, so before anything, is it okay if I ask 2 questions?
if 2 questions?
2 questions.
Oh my gosh! But you have to you have to somehow turn the 2 questions into one long sentence, though. Just it can have commas in it and stuff.
Okay, I'll just take that as 1 question.
No, you really can. You can ask 2.
Okay. So my first question is, out of all the students in Class 1A, who do you think would survive an apocalypse?
Let's see. In 1A. Well. I know. I was gonna say like Minetta probably could survive anything. Minetta probably. Mineta could probably, like, literally survive anything. Mineta's just dirty, and like he could live in dirt for the rest of his life. And what was your second part of your question?
My second question was. I'm trying to remember.
Oh, you forgot it.
No, actually, no. Besides All Might, who is your favorite My Hero Academia character?
Oh, besides, is there any other character in the show that's even good? Let's see. I really, like, I do have a soft spot for Bakugo because I played Vegeta for so long. I really like I like the angry sidekick character a lot, so I'm a huge Bakugo fan. And let's see, who else would I like? I'm trying to think. I also really like. I hate to say this, but I actually think Endeavor he's a terrible dad, but he's a great character. Like any character that can make you dislike him that much is actually a pretty good character. So.
Thank you.
Sure.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
My question is, what was your, hold on, let me know.
You got this.
So how did it feel being chosen to play as All Might in My Hero Academia?
It was okay. I was very so auditioning for All Might. I auditioned for Colleen Klinkenbeard, the director of the show. She's also the voice of Momo, and she's someone I've worked with for many years. I've worked with her. Like she was Gohan in Dragon Ball. She's Luffy in One Piece. She's been in a billion shows. Like I don't think I've worked on a show where Colleen hasn't been in it in some way. She's one of my favorites. And so when we were auditioning for this, she's saying, well, like, the show's gonna be really big, and the Japanese are having a part in the casting of it. So she was given really strict instructions as to kind of what they wanted for All Might's voice. So I auditioned, and she doesn't remember this, but I do. She made me audition like 3 or 4 times, like again and again. She was like, that's good. I think you could be a little deeper. I'm like, okay, that's good, but maybe not as scratchy. She's like, I feel like we're almost there. I felt like maybe she was playing a joke on me, but she made me audition so many times. But I didn't know, I mean, they said that My Hero Academia was gonna be a popular show. I didn't know it was gonna be this popular. Like, I didn't know it was gonna be as popular as it was. Because there's a lot of shows that come through Funimation where they say this show's gonna be popular, and it isn't. I mean, or it is, but it's not like, it doesn't have the same thing that My Hero Academia has. This show is just so wildly popular, it's incredible.
And my second question, I have a second question, sorry.
No, that's okay.
Can you maybe do All Might voice real quick?
Sure, that's a good idea to do on a panel. Thanks for the question, young person asking questions. Go beyond plus ultra. There you go. I was technically doing the All Might voice the whole time because I get to use my own voice for the Weekend All Might. Or I like to call him Weekend All Might. Like, it's like All Might is on the weekends.
All right, hi.
Hi.
Sorry, I'm nervous. This is my first con ever.
Oh, congrats, your first time. It gets easier. You'll get, like 2 cons from now, you'll be like jumping up there to ask questions and we'll have to be like, sit down, calm down, it's fine. Like, you won't have any issues.
All right, well, I have no question. I had 2 and then I lost the second one, so.
The other guy stole it. Those guys in front of you stole your second question.
Gosh darn. What were like the steps you took to become like a voice actor? Like how did you pursue that?
Oh, that's cool. Well, the first step was when I was between like 11 and 12 years old. The first step was that my voice dropped from like sounding exactly like yours to sounding exactly like mine. Like my voice dropped really low overnight for whatever reason. Like it just dropped super low. And that was the first indication that maybe I should do something with it. Not that I knew that at the time, It's just when you have a voice that's super deep at a young age, or you have a voice that sounds like mine, everybody says, you should use your voice in some way. Back when I was growing up, people didn't know to tell you to become a voice actor. And anime voice acting didn't really exist hardly when I was young. So they were all like, get into radio, get into radio, get into radio. You should become a DJ. So I eventually became a DJ for a while. I went to school at University of North Texas. I studied radio, television, and film there. I studied opera there as well. That's where I got a scholarship at first. And I realized very quickly, like, I don't want to do that for a living at all. In fact, now, if my opera instructors saw what I was doing for a living, they would literally die. They're like, because you shouldn't scream like that ever, and expect to keep your voice in good shape. But everyone who gets into the voice acting business gets into it a different way. Like, I came up through radio and broadcasting and stuff like that, and some people come in through theater, and some people come in through various different ways. So some people have no training at all. Some people come in as on-camera actors. But I'd say my biggest bit of advice for anybody wanting to be a voice actor is really to find a community of people to kind of collaborate with, whether it's finding animators that need to use your voice or joining up with other voice actors online that all collaborate on stuff or all audition stuff or all raise each other up. I'm not sure how much they talk about it, but I know for sure that the voice of Bakugo and the voice of Midoriya, so like Clifford and Justin, and the guy who plays Overhaul, what's his name, Kellen, they were in an online group of voice actors before they ever became pro voice actors at all. So I feel like that's where you're going to get your best support right now, because everybody, a lot of people want to be voice actors now, and it's easier to voice act anywhere in the world, and it's also harder to get into because there's just so much saturation in it. So many people are trying to get into it. So my best bit of advice is find a community where you can voice act, and then make yourself as diverse of a person as you can be. Because even the voice actors that I know a lot of them don't just do voice acting. A lot of them are also writers, they're also editors, they're also, they work on theater sets, or they're artists, or they're writers. Just do as many things as possible, because in the entertainment business, your biggest mistake is to tell somebody, no, I don't know how to do that. What you need to do is just learn how to do as much as you can. And the stuff that you don't know how to do as well, when they say, do you know how to do that? You say, yeah, of course I do. And then figure it out really fast, and then do a really good job of it. So, and trainers, you don't have to necessarily go into theater or take voice acting classes, although those are useful and I would recommend it to anybody. But you need to be as skilled at everything. I'd recommend get a degree in something else too. Get a degree, do something else that you can do to make money, so that voice acting is something you can do because you love it, until it becomes something you can do because you can afford to. So.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
I do have a second question.
Dang. Normally this only happens in Canada.
We got the 5-minute warning. Oh, we're gonna let's try to.
You only have 5 minutes for the rest of your question. I'm joking.
What was your favorite moment, voice acting in Zorro?
In Zorro, Zorro is one of those characters that it makes it difficult to even understand what's happening in the show, because he's asleep or drunk during most of the show, and then shows up, gets lost, and then does something amazing with swords. I think the scene where he takes on all of Luffy's pain is probably one of my favorites. That major fight where he says, nothing happened. That's probably my favorite, Zorro moment right there.
Awesome, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you, guys. Who is on your phone? Who is it?
Alex O'Loughlin, who plays Steve McGarrett in the reboot of Hawaii Five-0.
Oh, okay, the dude who plays, who is it?
Steve McGarrett.
Steve McGarrett, okay. Because you're recording it, but it just looks like you're trying to show me a picture of him. Like the whole panel, like, hey, look at this dude, look at this dude. Or it looks like he's just sort of popping out of your hand, kind of like it's just appearing out of, like you're doing a magic trick where you could make a small human pop out of your hand. Sorry, go ahead.
All good. My first question was, what was your DJ name?
My DJ name, well, it's kind of embarrassing to say. So I had several of them. One of them I had to be Christopher Sabat because I was on a top, like an adult contemporary station that was just boring, like Mariah Carey and Huey Lewis and really boring songs that adults like. But when I was a rock DJ, I was just Chris. I didn't even have to use my last name. And then when I would do like live performances, I had a name called, don't laugh until you know what it means. His name, DJ Sepsidillionaire. And it had an X in it, so it sounds like sexy billionaire. But it's actually a DJ, and a sepsidillionaire is somebody with 10 to the 60th power worth of money. Like was my thing. Like
I have
10 with 60 zeros on it. That's how much money.
one last question, it's a quick one.
Sure.
Did you ever go with a high-pitched voice in any of the acting?
Do I have to do, like, Yamcha's about as high as it got. Sorry, my voice just doesn't go up there.
So not this high?
No, not at all. That's the opposite. That is awesome. That's a good voice. Good voice.
All right, I'll make it a quick one. During some of Vegeta's power-up scenes where you had to yell for, I don't know, hours and hours.
Yes.
Have you ever had to yell so long that you passed out, and if so, how many times?
Well, only weak actors pass out in the booth. So
I heard Sean Schemmel pass out, right?
I know. I love to do that because Sean. What's funny is that Sean Schemmel tells a story about how he passed out in the booth, but actually it's not really true. It's just so many people had misheard some story about him passing out of the booth that it's just easier for him to just agree that it happened to him than actually happened. So my answer to that is always like only weak actors pass out in the booth, and it drives him crazy. Because he's sort of stuck living that lie of having to keep telling people that he passed out in the booth. But yeah, to my knowledge, he never really fully blacked out. There have been a lot of times where I've seen stars, because a lot of times when you're putting out that much sound, you're getting rid of all your oxygen, and you take a quick breath and you don't get enough breath back, so it's like you're almost hyperventilating, and you start I've had some very dizzy moments, but I've never passed completely out.
Okay, thank you.
And this girl has to ask her question, or else she's just gonna live in my nightmares forever.
Okay,
Okay.
I got two.
Okay.
The first one is, what was the hardest character that you ever voice act?
Ooh, that's a good one. Probably the hardest character was what was this? I'm trying to think of what the name of it was. It was in a video game. It was in a Borderlands game, and the character's name was called Sledge, S-L-E-Z-Z or something like that. And he was just super, super, super loud and angry, and it just tore my voice up. It was crazy. And the only time I've ever really lost my voice was in a character on Dragon Ball called Raccoon. And it's because Raccoon talks like this all the time, and when you do that for too long, these muscles here start to hurt, this one, and I just completely lost my voice. What was your second question?
Can you do your voice impression of Sledge?
He just sounded like this, and he was really nasty sounding and very loud, and it hurt. Try and do it for several hours, it hurts. What is your name?
Melania.
Melania, you are awesome. Thank you. And then I've got I'm gonna answer these last two questions super fast. So, you're just the last one. Cool.
So someone else took my other question, so
I give you permission to take off your masks because I can't hear you.
yeah. Yeah, no, it's just your face. It's all my face.
I love it. It's like All Might is asking me a question, and you're a ventriloquist, so your mouth doesn't move.
What are some other voice actors that you do good with?
Oh, I love working. There's so many voice actors I love in this business, and being a director on certain shows and stuff like that. That's the best part of the job, is because I get to finally hang out with the rest of these people. But there's so many good ones, like ones that have left Dallas to go on to Los Angeles. I miss those guys severely, like Laura Bailey and Travis Willingham and Troy Baker and Colleen Clinkenbeard, Lucy Christian, Rico Fajardo, there's like Justin Briner and Clifford Chapin and Caitlin Glass, and there's just so many darn good voices out there. But those are the ones. Ian Sinclair is amazing. Patrick Seitz. I mean, I could go. I literally could just keep naming names all day, because getting to work with these people on a regular basis is the best thing about this job, because they're all really good people. And I think the ghosts had a question real quick.
What is it?
It's like, it's cool. We'll talk later. Thank you. It was so nice meeting you.
Thank you guys so much for being a great audience. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody, very much. I'll see you in hopefully less than 4 years. All right?